It was only 2 years ago I felt totally out of control in my body. I'd succumb to every urge, whether it was Netflix or Chinese takeaway. I'd be drinking every night and also smoking. I knew what I was doing was unhealthy, but I just couldn't stop. Fast forward to now, I feel so much healthier and I have a sense of control over my body. I can control how it looks and even how it feels. This video is going to show you how you can do the same. Let's get into it. Did you know that you can go 30 days without food, 7 days without water, but you can't even go 5 minutes without oxygen? Your cells need to respire. It's a technical term meaning it needs oxygen for energy. And as soon as it runs out of oxygen, you're dead. Your cells die. And how much time do we spend talking about food, talking about hydration, but we don't talk about proper breathing? There's a reason why all these meditation retreats, nature retreats, and yoga talk about the importance of breathing. It is the first thing you must do to take back control over your body. It's to learn how to breathe properly. So if I asked you now to take a deep breath, a lot of you do it now. We'll do this. What's wrong with that? That looks completely fine, right? That's what I thought, but I was breathing wrong for most of my life. The proper way to breathe is through your diaphragm. So you imagine a balloon in your belly right now. Put your hand on your lower belly. Imagine there's a balloon inside. And as you breathe in, imagine that balloon expanding so your belly goes out. And as you breathe out, the balloon gets smaller and your belly goes in. This might be the single most useful thing that you take away from this video, and learning how to breathe properly can fix your posture, your vocal projection, and more importantly, how you feel, because your breathing controls your heart rate. You can relax, you can be at peace, and this is the first step. Do not skip this to take back control over your body. Next, do you decide what goes into your body? Or is it your parents? Or is it the Saturday nights out? Or is it the dopamine spikes that you get from the cookie that's waiting for you in the fridge? You see, a lot of people think that they are deciding, but they're actually being pulled in all kinds of directions by these dopamine addictions, by social engagements. If you're someone that doesn't know how to set strong boundaries, you're just going to be wishy-washy and be molded into eating things, doing things that are not helpful for where you want to be and how you want to feel. Think about your time. Think about your work. If someone's trying to write your essay for you, how do you take control of your essay? You say, no, don't give me that. Let me do it myself. Or someone's trying to send you on errands when you want to have your work time scheduled. How do you take control of your time? You say no. You have to realize that no, the word no, saying no, is directly linked to your sense of control in every aspect of your life. So you must say no more. Next, on a scale of 0 to 10, how does it feel to actually live inside your body? Be genuine and actually answer that question. Is it a 3? Is it a 6? Is it a 9? Most people will have set a number around 6, maybe 7. But you have to realize that this number that you feel right now, you're not bound to this. I've always been fat. I've always been unattractive. I've always been skinny. So I'm just going to be like this. I can't change. And there's this skepticism. There's this genuine limiting belief inside your head that's Wanhee, it's cool that you talk about this, but I know I'm not going to change. That belief is what controls your body. And you need to first make that mindset shift where it's you know what? I can get that number up to 8 or 9 or 10. I can actually change how I look. I can actually change. I can actually feel better living inside this body that I have. And once you believe it, then all the things that I'm about to share with you will have double the effect. So let's get on to the next point. Our body is supposed to be properly aligned from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet. But because of modern lifestyle, sedentary like this, caved up, how is the modern man looking in his bone structure? All zigzag and just wound up. That's why I developed chronic back pain. You cannot live like this. You must realign your body, your bone structure, your posture, and you do that generally by opening up your posture rather than closing it in. And one exercise that I'm going to give you, which is the best exercise I found, I call it the Wanhee face pull, and it's to do a face pull where you go like this and you extend into the Y position. This activates your entire posterior chain. It's going to do wonders for your posture. But this exercise aside, what I want you to really focus on is, let me fix my posture, let me open up, let me sit correctly, let me hang so that my body feels more loose. Let me do stretches so that it feels mobile. And all of these things that bring your body back in alignment is what's going to give you a sense of control over your body. Next, imagine just a power lifter who's got a bunch of muscle. He can lift like 400 pounds on the bench press, but he walks around like he struggles to go up and down the stairs. Or like a big guy who's really strong and he's in the gym, but he struggles to do pull-ups. It's not just about the absolute amount of strength. It's about how much strength you have relative to your body weight. When I work with clients and they build muscle and they lose fat, they literally say they feel like they can jump and just pop around better, because muscle gives you that sense of tightness and bounciness that you can only really feel if you get it. And the key word here, like alignment was for posture, is relative strength. And even just that simple knowledge that you can pull yourself above a bar with your own bare hands, the fact that you can push yourself off the ground with your own bare hands, these things are going to give you so much sense of control over your body. And you could take this even further to handstand push-ups, backflips. Imagine the sense of control a gymnast has over his body when he can do a backflip. Of course, we're not all gymnasts, we're not necessarily all gonna work towards backflips, but you get the idea. You must gain control over your body in a very physical sense by building relative strength. Next, you want to take up martial arts or some form of combat sports. This is actually a very subtle point, but you'll feel so much more in control of not just your body, but the people around you and your surroundings and what happens if you feel that you can defend yourself. A lot of people are walking around and you can see it in the tense body language, how they walk and how they look. They're always on alert in case some threat is coming at them. And that is not attractive. That is not you in control. That is you waiting to be controlled by some threat. How do you reduce that? You gotta take up some form of martial arts and combat sports to slowly build confidence in your own ability to defend your body. If you cannot defend your country, then who's really in control of your country? It's the same thing with your body. So you must take up things like boxing, like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, whatever it is, to start building up that sense of control. Next, remember I asked you the question, who's actually in control? Is it the dopamine or is it you? And in a lot of cases, you've created a cadence of dopamine spikes and addictions in your life. Even me, when I sometimes have ice cream at 9 p.m, if I do it 4 days in a row, the next week I'm craving ice cream exactly at that time. And who's in control? Is it me or is it just these dopamine spikes that I've made in myself? Dopamine itself isn't bad. If you work hard and you feel good and motivated, dopamine's released, this is good. But if you get cheap sources of undeserved dopamine, where you're just watching porn or like having a cookie, realize that you're not in control, you're actually being controlled by those dopamine spikes. Next, if your dopamine reserves have been depleted, it's sleep that restores it. If you're physically tired, mentally tired, it's sleep that restores it. Everything that's to do with good sleep is to do with getting good sunlight at the right time of the day. Sunlight and sleep are inextricably linked, so you must focus on getting sunlight early in the day and getting good sleep. If you don't have this right, nothing else that I've said is gonna make a difference. You can breathe right, you can say no, you can exercise, but if your sleep schedule is messed up, that means every time you're gonna be entering different hunger rhythms, different stress rhythms, and everything falls out of whack. So if there's one thing out of this entire video that you do in practice that's gonna have the highest leverage effect on your sense of control of your body, is to control your sleep time. Decide exactly when you sleep and when you wake up and stick to it, and that's respecting your sleep. Next, imagine you're the owner of a chocolate company or a cereal company or these snacks companies and crisps companies and burger and processed food companies, and your goal is to maximize profit. What are you gonna do? You have unlimited funds. You're gonna do all kinds of testing, combinations of chemicals, additives, preservatives, whatever you have, so that the person that has one crisp reaches for the second one. This is what they do, and processed foods have you hooked and addicted. Now, if you opt instead for whole foods, have you ever binge eaten broccoli or binge eaten salad? Have you ever just overeaten a really good quality steak? It hardly ever happens. Whole foods give your gut a time to relax, give your stomach and intestines a time to relax, and you will feel much more clear in your brain and in your mind when you cut out processed foods and switch to whole foods. Next, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend time with. You've heard this before. If you have friends that are drinking all the time or eating bad food all the time, if you have friends that are like, hey, do you want to order pizza? And you're like, no, like, let me stand up, no, but they're every day they're just ordering pizza and you're just in your room like trying to not eat, but you smell it, and they're in the living room eating Domino's with watching a movie and a couple beers. You're in an environment where it's just hard for you to succeed. It keeps pulling you, and one time you just say, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna chill. Now I don't have that, because right now I'm living with my parents and they don't do that. You want to be in environments that are designed to help you. You want to be in environments and communities and around people that are gonna help you achieve your goals and give you that sense of control, that can respect your boundaries, and that can actually encourage you to take these behaviors that we talked about. And if you're around shitty people right now, your first priority should be, how can I get myself out of this to a setting that is different, that is more supportive? And right now, guys, you have online communities. I have one, many people have one that you can join, where you can find the kind of support and guidance you need to take back control over your body. All right, so I'll leave the link to my community below. So whatever you do, let's make 2024 the year you take back control over your body. I hope some of this resonated with you. See you in the next video.